All right, let's continue with partial fractions. So the most important thing that we need to realize is that partial fractions, like we discussed, decompose rational expressions. And so we say that the numerator has to have a lesser degree of x than the denominator. So you see here we have 1, here we have 2, here we have 1, here we have 2, here we have x squared, here we have x3, here we have x squared, x3, x squared. So we can see that these are the main forms of partial fractions. Now, what is very crucial, the same thing to remember, is that each fraction that you're going to have to try to decompose, you have to see the structure of the denominator. And that cannot be emphasized enough. The shape of your denominator determines the routes that you will take in completing a partial fraction. Okay, so because each denominator has got a specific partial fraction type that you're going to generate. So let's look at these. The first one is, for this one, you're going to split it like this. Okay, you get one factor, you separate it. So you separate the factors. You have to know how to get these factors. Here, I'm going to get that factor. All right, and you can see that A cannot be equal to B here. Why? Because this will be the same as this one. If I put A here, it will be x minus A squared, so it will be the same as this. So for this type, you have to do them like this. Now, what happens when it comes to here? Again, you have to be very good at finding the factors. So what factors can I get from x squared, x minus A squared? I'll have two factors. The first is, I don't have the square. It's like I'm saying, what are the factors of 4? Okay, so the factors of 4, or if I say 2 squared, what are the factors of this? The factors are going to be 2 and 2 squared. So it's the same here. We have these two factors, x minus A and x minus A squared. So those are going to be our main factors. So we are going to say A, again, look at this structure, x minus A. Then I'm going to say B. Okay, notice this. Then here I'll say x minus A, but this time around it will be squared. Notice that difference. So this is how you split when it's squared like that. Right, let's go to this third one. Okay, what are we doing here? Now you have to look at these factors here. Okay, if you can break them down, okay, if you can break down these factors, then it means that you will not have x here on top. So for example, here, I can see that I've got 3 factors there, and they're all different, meaning that my partial fraction is going to have this one, that one as factors. These are the 3 factors of this one here. Okay, so I'm going to use what factors here? I'm going to use A, okay, over x minus A, plus B over x minus B, then plus C over x minus C. Okay, that will be my partial fraction. So I've completed the three factors here. Right. So now here, let's look at what's happening here. So we have to make reference to this one. How we got the factors for this one is exactly how we get the factors here. So here it will go back to the same thing. Okay, it will go back to the same thing. So this will go to what? This will go to A over x minus A. That's my first factor. Then I'll say plus B. What will be my second factor? My second factor I'll get from here. Like we said, it will be x minus A squared. Then what will be my last factor? My last factor is going to be C over x minus B. Okay, all these factors could be reduced to those. Now we look at the final one. What's the final one? The final one is, look at this. We didn't break this down. It's still got x squared. Okay, so this means that we're going to have x here. Okay, x minus A, that's my first factor. What is my other factor remaining? It's this one here. Okay, x minus A. Then we're going to say bx plus c over x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so this is how we decompose this one, because this is still a quadratic. We didn't reduce it. So you see that here we have this, and then we have that. So if we are able to reduce this into factors, then this will come back to an equation like this one. Okay, so these are partial fractions. Like we said, let's take note. The first one, we'll split it into that form. but notice the structure on top here, and notice the factors. Be very good at finding the factors. Here, let's find the factors, and then we make sure that on top here, we just have A and B. We just have the coefficients. Here also we have coefficients. There we have coefficients. But here, because this is still not in the simplest form, we are going to have that. Okay, meaning that here we have the degree of 1. Here we have a degree of 2. Right. Okay, so this is a very important video. Go through a number of times so that you know the structures of these and the structures of the partial fraction that we expect. Okay, all the best as you go through.